everybody. So excited to be joined by all of you. I'm gonna be honest, I'm still very discombobulated. I don't know if it's my hearing or my voice, but ever since I got that,
Lyric went to Revolution in case it hasn't come
since
up.
You said it. Bloop. Since you insist and everything. But yes, I went to Revolution. What a time, man. Greatest experience ever. How was your weekend, though?
I don't remember. So I wasn't expecting that question. My bad.
Wow. Okay. Well.
Anyway.
Let's get down to business to defeat the Huns, shall we?
Big motherfucking business.
Well, next week. But we had we had some slightly large business this week.
Okay, yeah.
Slightly large business.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. We started off with Swerve. He was talking about basically doubting himself. I don't know if I can do this world championship thing. And the crowd's like, no, Swerve, you can do it. You're amazing. You're awesome. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. It felt very Obama. Years. Exactly. It felt very Obama in 2008. And so he's going on about how he's going to, win the championship. And then our AEW world champion Samoa Joe comes out and said, I don't know why you're crying. You will never win. I don't know what's happening here. I'm not impressed and I'm not amused. And then, the Kingdom comes out with Adam Cole in his wheelchair. And Wardlow, they say, hey, yeah, guess what? You talk about Swerve, but you really need to get ready for this. Wardlow is coming for you. And then, exactly, no pop.
Ain't nobody worried about Wardlow. All I heard, talk about, Wardlow. Next for what?
All I heard in my head was the voice of Roman Reigns saying, exactly, no pop. Because that's exactly what happened.
I literally tweeted. I was like, it's time for some grown folk business. You know good and damn well you're supposed to be over there in the TNT title picture or something. Get out of here.
Exactly. So that happened, and then we ended up with an impromptu match. They gave us a little bit of can they coexist? Don't get me wrong, it was cool. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't really want to see Swerve in a can we coexist angle if Hangman's not there. It's just, it doesn't hit the same. Yeah. But Joe, I love you. Obviously, they win. They beat the Kingdom. And so, that happened. Swerve and Joe had their little stare down. They're looking in my eyes. What do you see? And then it was announced that, thank God for this, it's the Samoa Joe Wardlow match will happen next week at Big Business.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Let's wrap this up.
Yep.
Wrap it up then, Let's wrap this up. So super excited about that. Exactly, no pop. And next we had the Young Bucks.
And can I say about this first though? This was weird to me. Like this whole setup, like I don't love an impromptu match. It very much gives Monday Night Raw. But I felt specifically like about this instance. I was like, Swerve and Samoa Joe, like you said, don't have beef the same way that Swerve and Hangman do. So this setup was weird. And so them even coming out and like challenging them as a tag team, I was like, why would that be a thing at all? Like that, Yeah. So that whole setup was a little bit weird to me. Like, I don't mind it because I really enjoy the work of everybody involved, but I hope that we don't do more things like that more often, I'm
gonna be honest, I'm a sucker for a good impromptu match if it works. And like, I don't feel like this was terrible, but it just was like you said, the heat isn't there between the two of them to where it really felt like it warranted a can they coexist type angle, especially if you haven't even announced the title match yet for Dynasty. It felt a little bit too premature, especially with Wardlow being the next challenger right now. But, I digress. It was fun. Somebody said, how did you feel about the new AEW intro? I love it. I love everything about it. I love the colors. it feels very, for me, it feels very Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, with like the colors and stuff.
Good point. Good point.
Yes. It feels like a nod to the past, but it retains like the sleekness of like, the current presentation. And also I feel like, AEW with them getting rid of like the box around the logo and like the name is just AEW. It's like, yeah, you know who I am. Exactly. Like I love it. I love the new tunnels.
Will say, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the intro, I feel like I'm gonna have to see it again to like really decide if I like it. The match graphics are sexy as hell.
Yes, I agree. I do need to look at the intro again, but
the match graphics were so cunty. You guys don't. I was sitting there watching. They put the one up for Hook and Brian Cage. I was like, yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be an affair.
They said somebody said they NXT 2.0 the shit out of it. Here's the thing. Dynamite was doing, AEW was doing the rainbow stuff with the colors before NXT 2.0. Like they're just reclaiming what they did and what they created originally, and I feel like they're updating it. I love it. I think it looks sleek. Yeah, it looks different. It makes them look like the alternative again. Like because I will say, like, don't get me wrong, the last Dynamite presentation, the red and blue, it was super clean. But it also felt very cookie cutter. Like I could see this
boring.
Yes, like I could see this on Raw. I could see this on SmackDown. Like, like this feels different. And
Don't give us nothing. Yeah.
It feels like, the face the cool kids. I don't know. I'm here for it. But yes, like you said, I need to watch the intro again. But the graphics, fantastic. Next, we moved on to the Bucks. They had their first promo of the night, and they were doing their best Tony Khan impersonations. And it was pretty good. It was really good. It was really good. They said that they would be back later in the show with 2 major announcements, which they did, and we'll get to that. But next we had Hook versus Brian Cage. Listen, this little motherfucker Hook, man. I love the fact that he walks around like he's 400 pounds. And that he thinks he's big and bad, and he gonna do that T-bone suplex again and again and again until y'all feel him. And I just respect it so much. This was so much fun.
And he said, I might be little, but I lift.
Exactly.
Don't get twisted.
Exactly.
Don't get it twisted. And I was sitting up there, and I was like, he whooping his little ass. Yeah, same. He whooping his little ass. But I will say the funniest part of that match to me was when Brian Cage went through the barricade and Hook wasn't even in the frame, bro. I was like, I said, oh, it wouldn't be really true old school AEW without some real mishaps, and that was one of them. But I loved it. I thought it was fun.
I thought it was great. I think that Hook making this his character of just being willing. It's a lot like his dad, because like, Taz was big, but he was also fairly short. And so like always, getting in the face of bigger opponents and thinking that you could whoop anybody's ass pops me into oblivion. He's only 53 matches into his career. Fantastic. I think like he's shown incredible progress. Now the Jericho stuff afterwards. I kind of don't even want to talk about it because I just want to be like, I'm really on such a high right now. Okay,
I have to. You know me.
As a true hater,
I can't let that shit slide.
As a true hater,
hater from my fucking core.
Exactly.
Hook went out there to cut his promo, or he was backstage with Renee Paquette. Everything was fine. I said, yeah, okay, talk your little shit, Hook. Okay. All of a sudden, here comes nobody's biggest, like nobody wants to see you. I don't understand why you're here. I understand you were involved in the 8-man. Okay. He coming up here like, you have my respect. Bitch, nobody asked. Nobody asked whatsoever. I was like, why are you talking? Why are you on the screen? Then when he came out to make the save, I was like, oh my God. I don't know what's worse, having your favorites tied up in the Chris Jericho verse or the Don Callis family. Chris Jericho, I tweeted this, but I mean it. I don't care what you do. You can go storm the Capitol again if you want to. Get away from me. That's all.
My sister said, enough! Enough! I had it!
That one clip that's wrong answer, forehead. Anything you do.
What Nene Lee said, I'm gonna give you one of these. And also, I will say, I have been screaming from the rooftops for a while now that I am so excited. I want to see Teton wrestle in AEW. And the fact that it's happening this weekend, but at what cost? You know, I asked for Kenny Omega. I said Teton versus Kenny Omega. I got Jericho. You know, hey, we can't always get what we want.
You know, sometimes you want steak, but you have a Wendy's budget. Okay, and that's what it's giving.
Talk to him. That's deep. That's,
you know, it's you can have all these one's desires, and you should dream big, but sometimes you got to be realistic and look at what you got and say, well, I guess this is where we are now. Exactly. I hate Chris Jericho. I don't know if this has come up before, y'all. I don't like Jericho. That's all.
Well, next we had Luchasaurus versus Daddy Magic in an impromptu squash match.
Kill switch, please.
My fault. Kill switch. Also, Shayna Wayne, girl. Girl, I'm so messed up about you, mother. Seriously?
I knew you was going to say something. And especially tonight, yes, but especially at Revolution. I said, yeah.
I almost passed
out. Come on, man.
I almost passed out. I almost cleaned out. That lady is a fox. A stone cold fox. These new age compliments, they're not good enough for her. I want to stand outside of her window with Isley Brothers playing out of a boombox.
Ooh, please.
Oh my gosh. They're such a beautiful family. Christian said, y'all thought I was going to lay down for this younger generation? Fuck them kids. He said, only thing I care about is my son. I love you, Nick.
I love you, Nick. Wait, had me weak, bro. I love you, son. I was sitting there and I was like, because I literally said earlier, I was like, if Cash Money Kazu is here, these wrestlers under 30 finna get the brakes beat off them. And then Christian come on commentary. He said, no, actually, I don't want anybody to be successful whatsoever. It's like, you know, that thing like a hydrogen bomb coughing baby. That's what it feel like. Like there's no winning.
Listen, he said, if it ain't about my family, about my matriarch and my son,
he's a family man. Y'all don't.
I would never forget. Listen, that promo that he cut when he told Kill Switch to kneel and stuff like that, and then Nick got on his knees. He said, "Don't you ever kneel. You are my son. You are my pride and my joy."
Do you think that's the kind of like? Do you think that's the kind of like pep talk that God gave Jesus before he sent him down here?
Yeah, I got to. Got to. Because ain't no way
you're not like the rest of them, okay? You're my son.
Ain't no way you send somebody to earth without, like, you know, fully pregnant.
I need you to know who you are, okay?
Hey, you are my son.
You gonna step into your greatness. You're not like the rest of these hoes. God probably didn't say hoes. But you know,
exactly. Yeah, you did not say that. But exactly, I feel I'm picking up what you're putting down. Mm-hmm. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I understand your sentiment. So obviously, Kill Switch wins. They start beating on Daddy Magic. Dane Garcia comes out. They start beating on him too. Christian's like, we're done here. And then suddenly, the Rated R superstar Adam Copeland comes out and chases Christian up and down that arena, honey. I'm talking about he jumped in barricades. He ran. We went through the makeup tables, around the block, outside. He snatched somebody out of their own vehicle.
Can I tell you what? Okay. July, Paris. Okay. I know it's a little bit late for Olympic qualifying, but I'm not sure if Team Pink has the speed. So I think we can slip you in as a late entry, okay? Because that bitch was moving.
Listen, they said I feel like all the other 50 and ups in the back, they was like, man, Sting set a hot bar, y'all. We gotta.
I was sitting there. I was like, what is that nigga 40 time? Get him in the combine.
He said absolutely not. And the thing is, it's so funny to me because, like, like they've been best friends since they were children. And so, they used to race like this as kids. And they still like 50 in their 50s playing tag.
Please.
Christian said absolutely not. He held on to that belt. He left that family. Cause he left that lady, he left his son, he left that dinosaur. He said
he had to go get some milk. It's okay, he'll be back.
He said absolutely not. He could barely turn the car to get out of there. I gotta respect it. Wow. And so it was announced that in Toronto, it will be Christian Cage versus Adam Copeland for the TNT Championship, their third match in AEW, and it's going to be, they said they were going to finish where we started. I think it's going to be fantastic. Listen, they have not disappointed yet. They kind of saved the show at World's End.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it's going to be an
I Quit match. Yeah.
Yes, it's going to be an I Quit match. I'm excited.
Yeah. Are we going to enter the tag team tournament? What do you think, Lyric?
I think we can take them.
First of all, I don't see a single bitch that has put their name in that I don't think I could mollywop single-handedly, let alone with a partner like Lyric. So,
strong woman.
I'm like, who do you think is stronger than us? Because it ain't the Bucks. It ain't Private Party. Exactly. I think we got it.
Damn sure ain't FTR.
It damn sure ain't FTR. Anybody's scared of you. Now, I know that they like to play a little dirty.
I know how you like to tussle.
I know
how y'all like to tussle.
So Jericho, Dani, steel cage match, exploding barbed wire death match.
Up next we had Kyle O'Reilly. Oh my gosh, let me tell you something. Kyle O'Reilly looks like a puppy. Like he looks like such a cute puppy. Like he looks so happy
so much.
I know he looks so happy to be back. So nice to have Kyle O'Reilly back. We lost it when we saw him because he came out of nowhere, with no fanfare. And it's just like, at first I thought, respectfully, Mr. Kyle, I did think that you was a fan that bum rushed the ring for a little second in Revolution. I wasn't used to you having that hair all over your head like that. But I quickly understood, and Kyle, oh my God, I'm so happy that you're back.
When he came out at Revolution, everybody else, because my family just recently started watching wrestling. When I tell you my voice went up 6 octaves, I said, Kyle O'Reilly. I'm so glad, one, that he's, healthy just as a human being. But two, that he's back to AEW, back to wrestling. It truly is the most stacked roster in the world. And it only got more so tonight, baby.
And we're getting there. Kyle O'Reilly's also said that he plans to handle this next chapter of his career as a solo act. So he will not be joining the Kingdom. So that's going to be very interesting. And also, thank God for that, man. I'm trying to see him murk people. I ain't gonna lie. Where's that Kyle O'Reilly Mox match we were supposed to get? Time to run all these things. Super exciting. Next, we had.
Sorry.
Oh, we finally had the Bucks. So we finally had the Bucks come out, our EVPs. Talking to Tony Schiavone, and they were like, basically, Sting cheated. Everybody associated with them cheated. But then, so they had 2 announcements. The first one was that they said, we hate to have to do it, dog, but hey, man, you did put your hands on not one, but
fair
2 officials.
He did do that.
And not only he didn't just push them, he
beat them home. I said, pull your punches out of him. Pull your punches.
It was so crazy. That's why I'm sorry. Maybe I'm a shill for Hangman and Elite Lore, which is rightfully so. Yeah. But like that world title match, and I know some people are, I ain't like it. Listen, I loved it. I'm going to rewatch it after this. Actually, I'm going to rewatch the last 3 matches of Revolution again after we finish this. But that man was unhinged. He started hitting everybody. What? No, he said, "You will not have it." He said, "Swerve, you will not have it."
And I gotta say, because me and Hangman is now on my level of hatred. He mean that shit, bro. I coming into this match, I was like, I don't really know if he's about that.
Are you a real hater?
Are you a real hater? Are you a hater today? Okay, is this your lifestyle? But he whooped that first ref, and I said, okay. When the second ref came out, I said, all right, Adam, this is what I'm trying to talk about.
And then he got mad. He got mad as hell when he was like, what do you mean there's nobody here to count? Well,
girl, you broke them.
You literally beat them all?
There's nobody left.
You literally beat them all? But I digress. They said that, Hangman, you're suspended. And they said, hey, Kenny, you ain't been showing up to work. Don't know what that's about. And actually, you're fired from the Elite. I said, diverticulitis? Excuse me? Matthew and Nicholas, seriously? Kenny is home, playing his video games, playing Final Fantasy, twirling his curls.
The disrespect, okay? Because y'all know good and damn well that the only person that can stop all this shit is Kenneth Jerome Omega. That's his shoot name, by the way.
Period.
Yeah. I was sitting there and I was like, at first they said 2 people. I said, I know who we talking about. They said Kenny fired. I said, now watch your damn tone, Matthew.
I was so entertained. Like when I say I was yee-hawing, and it's just like every time I was trying to tweet more stuff kept happening. Because then Eddie Kingston comes out and then he says, yeah, go ahead, write that fine, bitch. Because I said,
peep the Timbs.
Peep the Timbs. And I'm wearing my sweatpants and Timbs. Now what? I said, oh, got it. And then that coin flip. Cash Money Kazuchika.
When
Okada Jackson.
When I tell you my soul ascended, I became a different person for a few seconds. I had a moment where I was like, this is the wrestling world, the wrestling landscape. Thinking about the prospect of all of these people being on this roster on weekly US TV is absolutely insane. Cash Money Kazu, welcome home. Okay? As they were saying to CM Punk, all right? Chicago man, this ain't got nothing to do with you. But no, look, Okada's here. It's time for some big business, bitch. Nobody here handles their coin better than Cash Money Kazu, baby.
They had Okada debut in Atlanta, and that felt very personal to me as a Black. Because, wow, there's something poetic about Cash Money Kazu debuting in, the Black capital of the USA. I mean,
I'm saying I think that if we get Okada a new theme, I think it should be Migos and Jermaine Dupri.
I was gonna say Metro Boomin, but
yeah, you might nigga a chain, all right?
Mucho gusto.
That bitch a chain.
Exactly. It did sound a little bit different though. It just sounded remastered. So maybe that is the new theme. I don't know.
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't hear anything.
I will say I was
white noise and angelic joy.
And truly, I was ascending to my most highest possible self. I felt like I was on the ancestral plane. Like when T'Challa died in the first Black Panther and he had to go see his dad in the ancestral realm. He said, and he was there for a little bit and then he came back down. That's exactly how I felt. And I felt like I experienced that multiple times throughout this episode, which was crazy. It's just like I just kept floating up and down, up and down. It was kind of insane.
Me, not me. Me, not me.
Cash Money Kazu. Then
ATL ho.
He gets up and he, comes in the ring. Eddie Kingston thinks that he's going to take his side, and then suddenly, he rainmakers Eddie Kingston. And it was the most beautiful thing ever. And then Matthew and Nicholas Jackson then say, yes, the newest member of not just All Elite, but the Elites, Kazuchika Okada Jackson. And wow.
When that graphic came up that said the Elite in the corner with the Bucks and Okada, I was like, there's no way this is real life. There's no way that this is... I was like, I know who's supposed to stand right there, and it ain't you, but here we are. And can I say something related also, right? Because them bitches are so funny, because Okada and Ospreay did that emotional ass goodbye to one another. Okay, they spent all that time, like, and Ospreay was like, you took care of me, when I first moved here. And then it's all the tears, it's the waterworks. Both of you bitches knew good and damn well. All right.
Listen, bro. It hasn't even been like a full 2 months for y'all to end up on the same roster, working on the same night.
Like, come on.
Y'all probably riding the same car together to the venue. Shut up.
That shit had me dead. I was sitting up there. I was like, you know what it feels like? It feels like sometimes, like you date somebody, and you've decided that this is your person. You're together for a long time. You're in love, okay? And then all of a sudden, you're like, I actually don't know if I'm feeling this 100%. I don't know. We should take a step back. We need some space, all right? What is it? Like a month later, you're like, I don't need space anymore, baby. I'm back. I need you. Exactly. That's what you knew. Exactly. You knew. You wanted to have a little hoe phase in between. That's what it was. Okay.
I would like to also say that Kenny Omega, has literally tried to get away from all of you people, in the fact that Jay White, Ospreay, Okada, y'all have somehow found him in the company he ran to get away from y'all. I said, oh my God, he's never going to know peace. He was never know peace.
Y'all slipped in the door while he was at home. He gonna come back and be like, no, I know. Also, he turned to all of these people and were like, you're the future of New Japan. And all of them said, actually, no.
I'm the future of, I'm going wherever you going, player.
And you know what?
They said, where we going, Ken Dog? Where are we going?
I'm well acquainted to being the head honcho. I'm well acquainted to all these bitches following the leader. So that's what it felt like. It was like, all right, well, let's see how Kenny do over there. Oh, okay, that's the move. And all of a sudden, everybody all elite.
This is not funny. Well, actually, it's hilarious. But you remember during the insurrection on January 6th, and when that man went and and Nancy Pelosi opposite came back. He said, yeah, we already been in there. Ain't nothing in there.
We
already checked over there. Ain't nothing in there. Ain't nothing in there. I just want to look at it one more time. Sorry. Wow. Look at it. Drowning it.
And wait, one more thing on Kazu, because this is massive. This is big business, okay? Mm-hmm. But one more thing, right? Guys, about 2 months ago, I wrote a haha tee article for Black Girl Wrestling.
Delete all that shit.
It was a joke then. It continues to be, okay? Because I have a really good track record of, I'm not a wrestling journalist. I am, however, a wrestling prophet. I just have a tendency, I just know things, like no sources, no vibes, just vibes, and I'm usually right.
Intuition, actually.
That's literally what it is. So nobody is allowed to cyberbully me in regards to that, because it was a tee, and if you read all the way to the bottom, it said, Tony Khan, don't ever let this happen. Yeah. And talk about delete all that. It's Women's History Month. Leave me alone. Do whatever I want. Talk to me in April. Circle back.
I will be waiting for you on April 2nd, not the 1st, because I don't want you to think it's a joke. But on April 2nd, I will be telling you, delete all that shit.
That's very nice.
But yes, Cassidy Kazu is officially a member of the Elite. He has replaced Kenny Omega. Listen, they set up so many angles there. We have now Omega Okada 5 in Wembley. I see you, boy. We are going to have Kazu versus Eddie Kingston. It's going to be fantastic. The Bucks are entering the tag title tournament. Now they're the Elite. The new Elite are making their trios debut this weekend on Collision. And I would also like to say is just that what the fuck we finna do when everybody get healthy, because Kota Ibushi has gotten, he did say that like he's getting surgery on everything. So he's basically already started his process to recovery. So like he's trying to get back in full motion. You know, Kenny's, obviously on the way back. Hangman is just on a brief hiatus. So you mean to tell me the Elite is about to be the Bucks, Okada, Hangman, Omega, and Kota Ibushi? What are we gonna do? I don't have any more money for you, Tony Khan, but I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it, because this episode, between this one and I will say what's gonna happen next week, a big business. This is AEW sending out the bat signals telling you, get your coins together now.
Broke people should never laugh.
Broke people should never laugh.
Now hold on.
Because listen, this is telling everybody, get your coins together. There's no such thing as a B pay-per-view. All Elite Wrestling.
And can I say,
I can't find any coins, Lyric. I don't have any. I don't have it either. I'm going to start selling plasma.
Baby, hit up the laundromat and you can get a lot of money for a kidney. You only need one. But I was gonna say, look, the prospect of also I see it already. I have always seen it. Golden Lovers Bucks for the tag titles. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. But I just want to say the prospect of the Elite being Omega, Okada, Hangman, Bucks, Ibushi, no man will ever make me feel the way that lineup makes me feel.
Never.
Never.
And I'll tell you that shit right now today.
Hang it up.
Hang it up. Flat screen.
Flat screen.
Asthma.
Because I am sitting over here smiling, giggling, kicking my feet, talking about not too much on Kota Ibushi.
He's in repair right now. Thank you.
Yeah, he in the studio. Let him cook.
He's in the studio. He's working on himself right now. He's in the lab. Thank you.
Yeah. Let that nigga get the pin. Relax.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's an absolutely insane prospect. But then you kind of think of, everybody's always talking about, like if the roster's too stacked, like what's gonna happen? Don't care. I don't care. That's not my problem. I'm not booking that shit. I want to see top tier athletes compete in top tier matches. And now with the people that are on this roster, there is no doubt that we are going to be consistently getting that. So
I think also too, just like the cool thing about AEW is that like you have a whole bunch of guys who like have different goals. Like you have different goals. Like right now, like for example, we've talked about it on here, the BCC, they just trying to do cool shit. Like they just trying to do cool shit, do Forbidden Door shit. They want to go to Mexico. They want to go to Japan. Like that's their thing, right? Kenny is the best bout machine. Yes. Is he probably going to have one more world title reign? Yes. But honestly, he just wants to tell cool stories with his friends and play video games. That's it. You know, same thing with the Bucks as far like we already know they're the GOATs as far as this tag team shit. Like there's
nothing left to prove.
Their purpose is just rebuilding the roster. Like so many of these people have really, and I tweeted this, and I know a lot, it makes some people feel some type of way, but you know, this all friends wrestling shit, y'all joked about it, but now it has resulted in some of the biggest free agent signings of, you know, in wrestling history. And yeah, like they just having fun, and that's scary. We've never really experienced that before, of just like wrestlers having fun. Oh my God, Kenny, tweet it. Oh my God.
Wait.
He just tweeted a meme. He tweeted that meme of him sitting like, Oh my God.
He's so
Kenneth,
real. I
he's
love
so
him
real.
so much.
He's the best. I love you, Kenneth Omega. Please get well soon. If you would like to show back up in All Elite Wrestling anytime soon, I would like you to know that there is a show later this month in your home country, wink, wink, of Canada. And it's in Toronto. Hope you can make it.
In case you don't know.
In case you didn't know. In case you didn't know. I know you're like the EVP or whatever, but I'm also chronically online.
But I don't know how they send the schedules out, so.
Exactly.
I don't know if you got to shift that day, but you know.
Yeah, I know how you be. I know you be locked in and clocked in on your streams and shit. So I just got to make sure, just have your people call my people and let's get something set up. But also, you know, we're talking a lot about the Elite, but I think, you know, there's a lot with this Don Callis family stuff. I think Ospreay gets involved at some point. Like, you know,
oh, absolutely.
One thing that was very clear, you know, in the build, especially to the Ospreay Takeshita match, and even in the aftermatch, it's very clear. It's becoming clear to Will Ospreay that to Don Callis, he is a Kenny Omega replacement. And I think that somebody said, I've said this a few weeks. I said this, what was it, last week, and Kylie said it again today. But I believe that we are going to get that Omega, Hangman, and Ospreay versus Bucks and Okada trios match, and that, let me tell you something. I don't know if I have enough love in my body to give, but I'm going to try.
I don't.
Because I literally think that my head is going to explode with little hearts and smiling and crying emojis is around my head. I think that that's exactly going to happen. You know, it reminds me of when in one of the great American films, Twitches. Met their mother. Exactly. When they, you know, met their mother, and she said that you can't, you know, your heart can't run out of love. You can always make more when you need it. And guess what? I will be making more because I'm going to need it. Because, wow, Hangman, Omega, Ospreay, 3 of my all-time favorites right there. Bucks, Okada, 3 of my all-time favorites right there. Together. Listen, All Elite Wrestling, I don't have any more money for you, but I will find it. It's so bad this year. It's so bad this year to where truly I don't think I can sit out 2 pay-per-views in a row. Like I'm like in person. Like I've already come to peace with myself that, you know, I'm going to miss Dynasty in person. But like it's just like,
oh, I'm going to that.
You going to Dynasty? Oh yeah, that's a year. Oh my gosh, you finally yes. You know what? You get to gloat.
I'm the mayor of the Midwest.
Yep. You get to gloat for the rest.
That one's on me.
You get to gloat from now until then, like I gloated for Revolution. You know, you deserve this.
Thank you. I think so too.
Get a media pass, Dani. We're going to work on it. Trust. We're going to work on that.
We're going to work on it. We're going to work on it.
But after
I might have to be nicer to some people.
We need to talk about that afterwards though, like because I forgot, like that's we really need to make that happen. But anywho, that doesn't matter right now. It doesn't matter right now. But after that, we had what is it? We had, oh my gosh, Chris Statlander versus Riho. Let me tell you something. I truly believe that was the best women's television match of this year so far. Stat, girl, I'm so messed up about you. The way that you be flinging, slanging, and doing everybody around. Oh my God, you are so talented. Them suplexes.
And who better to throw around than Rio?
Big Riho, the ratings juggernaut.
No, literally.
The way that the
CEO of the world.
Oh my goodness. The first ever AEW Women's World Champion.
You know what this was? This was the battle of 2 ultimate it girls, okay?
Exactly.
They could not have been better suited to fight each other, you know? Statlander's whole thing is that she's big and strong. Riho's whole thing is that she's little and quick. It was, and how often do we actually get those kind of matches where people match up that well in the women's division, you know?
Exactly.
Where there's such stark differences, you know?
Exactly. You know what? That's such a great point
Loved
because
I
feel like this was the first night that I've truly felt the energy from an in-ring standpoint. Like, obviously the booking has been better, like, and I feel like AEW as management has done better with the division. But from the in-ring, and don't get me wrong, the in-ring has been increasingly better. But this was the first night that I really felt, probably since Jamie Hayter left, that we got a match on TV that felt equal to what the men are doing right now as far as getting these dream matches. Like, of these crazy dream TV matches, this felt like that.
Yes.
Like, like, oh my gosh, Ospreay versus Fletcher tonight.
They're going to do that on Dynamite instead of on pay-per-view? Yeah.
Exactly. Stat versus Riho felt exactly like that. And that's the type of energy that I love for the division. Like, yes, dream matches. Put your biggest hoopers on the floor. The biggest and baddest
he did tonight.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And there's nobody better than Big Rio. And Rio versus Willow next week, another certified hit in advance. We're up.
Exactly. So Statlander ended up losing this match. Stokely wanted her to use the chain. She did not, but she kind of like contemplated over a bit too long, got distracted. Of course, Big Riho got the win. So it was, it's up and it's stuck. They started arguing. I believe that we see Megan Bain by Dynasty. And then we went into a Toni Storm promo backstage. I will say the in-ring doesn't click, but she's funny as fuck. It's
agreed.
Fantastic. Man, the Mariah May t-shirt being Mariah and Toni clothes was crazy. Like, girl, what? It was just hilarious. Yeah, apparently, she said on Collision, she will be coming out with the first ever Toni Awards with an I to avoid getting sued. So that's going to be exciting. Mariah May will also be in action on Collision, which was announced. Not sure who our opponent will be yet. But then we had a Willow promo backstage, and she was talking to Stokely, and she said, hey, listen, I like Serious Willow. Okay, I like Serious Willow. She said, listen, I feel good. I feel like I can beat bitches right now. Stat couldn't beat Riho, but I think I can. And you know what? I'm ready to win some gold. And guess what? After I get through Riho, Julia, I'm coming for you. Period. At Big Business. And hey, I think that this is a big question mark to look at because Big Business next week, Mercedes' last opponent was Willow Nightingale, and she lost. Mm-hmm. So Willow being in a singles match next week doesn't strike me as a big coincidence. It's, do think that there's going to be something to that. Also, I would like to say I really, really like how AEW has cycled out the storylines because I feel like, people are being rotated from Rampage to Collision to Dynamite because Chris and Willow were primarily on Rampage, and now you see they're becoming the focal point of Dynamite. And I think Toni Storm is becoming more so Collision. And so I do really like how the storylines are being rotated around. So yeah, that's where we are with the women's division. I'm excited. I think there's a lot of exciting things happening. Sky and Julia also had a promo. Basically saying that she's a fighting champion. She's going to wrestle on Friday at Rampage. She will be defending the title in an open house rules match versus Robin Renegade.
Julia, hand me the title.
Yeah.
Go ahead and pass that over to me. No shade, no disrespect. She was making and continues to make great in-ring progress, but yes. I think we pulled the trigger too early. And then obviously she was injured, which kind of stunted the whole run. It's not working for me right now.
You know what? I don't think they pulled the trigger too early. I think that she should have never had a reign this long. I feel like sometimes, like with your younger talent, it's important to give them a little glimpse at the title, so people can know that you're investing in them. And, at the time, and still is, the fans were behind her, clearly invested in her. So I can understand, here's the thing. Why did Julia Hart have a longer title reign than Hikaru Shida? Clock that T.
Clock that T.
Clock that T. That's my thing. That's all. Here's the thing. Julia's still growing, but the thing is, if Anna Jay can't have a title, why can she? Right now, here's the thing. That's one thing about the roster now. A year ago, this would have been perfectly acceptable. And this is why. Because let's just be real as far as the women's division. Compared to the men's division when AEW first started, the women's division had no established stars. None. Everybody had to work from the ground up. The men's division, they have Mox, they have Jericho, they have people who have been established on American television before, legends, icons, all that. The women's division never had that. And ever since, they have truly been in a building phase. This is really the first time where the women's division is truly just as strong, if not stronger than the men's. And it's still next week until that even becomes official. So I do think that a year ago, it would have been acceptable to put titles on your up and coming stars. Just why Jade held it so long, and even got it in the first place. It was supposed to be investing. However, I'm sorry, but yesterday's price is no longer today's price. We are out of the investment phase. We are in big business phase.
All stars
from men's to women's, because same thing like, TNT title. They put it on Wardlow to try to get him over, right? Like putting these titles on different people to try to get them over. That used to be something you could do. It is no longer It is no longer the case. The price of the brick is going up in both the men's and the women's divisions. There's no longer any excuse for any title to be on any shitters. Real hoopers only. Sorry.
Real hoopers only.
I need to clip this, actually. I need to clip this and put this on Twitter tomorrow.
Quite literally. Because look, no, because it's real. It's not, I understand like what you're saying, and I understand the thought process that AEW had even going into it, right?
Absolutely.
And putting these titles on these people. But at this point, right, the roster is just too talented to be hoping that you're going to be the next guy.
Clock it.
I need to know.
Okay. We need more than potential. And I think that's what people
need to know.
And I hate to go there, but I'm going to go there. It goes back to the MJF title reign. And I feel like so many people feel down, they're like, why are we hopping on, Max and stuff like that? Like he has so much potential. I feel like he has the higher ceiling. Because I even tweeted, I said, Darby to this day has been the most consistent pillar out of all of them. Yep. And somebody was like, well, I still think that Max has the highest potential. Guess what? I said consistent because here's the thing. We're in year 5. Everybody has, especially the originals, the homegrowns, the people who came from the gutter. Yeah, we've all gotten to see what y'all can do. Consistency is the key now. We can't do nothing with potential. Some of y'all done been here long enough. You either got it or you don't. Because who does got it? Chris Statlander.
Garcia.
Daniel Garcia. And he been there less time than y'all. Hook. 53 matches. Only 53 matches in one career. And so, it's just we keep talking about potential. Here's the thing. Max is an incredible wrestler. But he doesn't wrestle often, which is your big mistake in a company like this. Because guess what? What you won't do, Will Ospreay will.
And look.
On every week. He'll drop 5 stars with you every week if you let him.
Look. And that's really what it comes down to, right? Because I understand. I get it. You are good. What you are not is good enough to be playing games. All right? That's what it comes down to. All right? It's one of those situations where you just sit up here and you're like, I'm invested in you. I absolutely want you to succeed. And you do have all the potential in the world. But if you're not working today,
right now, today.
You're not giving me that 5 stars right on a week to week. We're not talking for 45 minutes.
And I feel like, I brought MJF up here because I feel like it's kind of like the same with Julia in a sense, even though obviously she's much more of a rookie, but it's in the sense of I love the look. I love the entrance. You know, I feel like she's great on the mic, but mic skills isn't that's not what sells here. That's not the selling point for all elite wrestling. That's not the selling point. It's wrestling first, all that other shit comes second. Truly. In other places, you know, it's flipped. You know? And that's fine. That's why we have different products for different things. And here's the thing, I do think that Julia will get there, but not with the belt. We don't got time. Like, we just don't have time anymore. We don't have time anymore, especially when you got girls who wasn't signed this time last year, like Queen Aminata going crazy. You got Red Velvet, who went from literally being a sidekick to coming back, and people like, oh shit, she's one of the best on the roster.
She can ball.
The girls are in the booth. These girls are in the booth. Everybody in the booth. So if you don't want to wrestle, if you don't want to wrestle, if your in-ring output ain't high, I'm not even saying take you off TV, because I love Anna Jay, and I love how she continues to keep trying to get reps, but she don't got no belt on her. Anna Jay, she gonna keep doing her reps on Rampage, and she continues to get better and better and better. And when she finally wins that title, we gonna go up.
Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, what it comes down to in all of this, to say, we understand not everybody is at the same level, at the same caliber right now, especially some of this younger talent that's learning and doing great. What I'm saying is that in order to be involved in title pictures or to be consistently featured on TV, there is a certain standard that needs to be met. And like you said, it used to be a little bit of a lower threshold for the women's division. That's not the case anymore.
Absolutely.
You know, step it up.
You got to cut the mustard. Like, you got to cut the mustard consistently. And if you you have to think, I truly believe this, and it's not even me trying to be like an AEW shield, but right now, if you hold a title in All Elite Wrestling, I'm not talking about sales or views or none of that. In wrestling, you are seen as truly the best of the best in professional wrestling today.
Because you have to be.
You have to be. And here's the thing, I hate to say this, but Toni Storm, this go for you too. And this is an uncomfortable conversation to have. And, you know, I'm really glad that we're having it coming after Revolution, because Toni, and I'm not even going to say just Toni, because I love Toni Storm. And honestly, I last night, like the night of Revolution, I found myself going through like old Toni matches and like her old.
She can ball.
And especially, here's the thing, I'm going to be real. Toni Storm's first title reign, the only thing was really bad about it was the fact that she couldn't talk. She didn't have any live mic time, but them matches hit. Toni was wrestling every single week for almost 3 months straight, and everything she did was solid.
She can wrestle, and that's what's more frustrating about her situation is that,
and that's like MJF, and that is like MJF, because here's the thing:
I know you got it.
It's like, I know you have the talent. I was there the night of Full Gear 2022. I saw what you did with Jamie Hayter in that ring, and that was one of the best matches in AEW history. Truly, and definitely one of the best women's matches. I know you got that dog in you. It was my hometown where Toni Storm debuted in AEW. I was there. Like, I'm a huge fan. However, a lot of times we could blame AEW, everybody want to blame, like, you know, Tony Khan on why, like, you know, the women aren't getting older and stuff like over on this. But guess what? Toni and Deonna was the best built women's feud probably in AEW history, outside of maybe Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa. Mm-hmm. They got in-ring mic time. They got backstage mic time. They got 2 women's matches on Dynamite back to back. Like, all of the things that people have been asking for to get a proper women's build, like, this is what we need. They got it.
And the match was bad.
And I'm going to be honest, at Revolution, especially when you had just about every match almost hit on the money, maybe outside of that in the scramble, but even so, people still pop a lot in the scramble for, like, the meat chants and stuff. It's just like, I don't want to get to the point to where the women on the card are the lower part of AEW, because as we saw tonight with Chris Statlander and Riho, that doesn't have to be the case.
It doesn't have to
be the case. And you don't want that to be used as an excuse for, well, we don't get all these matches booked because, you know, they don't deliver. Like, nah, there's real hoopers on this card. And I'm not saying that Tony's not a real hooper, but guess what? Like, she still hasn't found here's the thing. I'm not even going to put it all on Tony. Because I think, like, one, she hasn't found the true balance between her gimmick and her wrestling, but I'm going to be honest, she did a much better job in this match and Revolution than she ever has. I will say, Deanna's style isn't conducive to what people want to see from the division right now. And I think it's because she works a slower and more technical style. And here's the thing. I love technical wrestling, but it's making technical wrestling slow, especially when women's wrestling in AEW historically has already been much slower paced. People want to see something faster. That was the first thing I noticed about Chris Statlander versus Riho tonight. The pace. They started off hot. It was fast paced. It needs to. And Deanna's style just doesn't have that. Like, that's the difference between, in my opinion, Zack Sabre Jr. and Timothy Thatcher. Timothy Thatcher works so much slower, and it bores the fuck out of me. But Zack Sabre Jr., oh my God, I get so excited. He's moving. You know, it's just like, I don't know. I'm not sure if Deanna still needs to adjust to like the TV style, or like, you know, wrestling in front of bigger crowds, because like, how do I say this? Like, rest holds and headlocks. No. And a lot of people are learning that. I think that's why some people, I know you can wrestle, but like, you might need to change the style up a little bit so it doesn't come off as boring. And she's not the only person who does that. I've had that problem with Lee Moriarty in the past too, who I think is extremely talented. But sometimes, like, you know, his style doesn't exactly wow me.
Yeah.
So, said all this to say, I didn't even mean to go on this rant today. That was just on my spirit. It's just, I think it's because like everybody else is so good right now. It becomes
to compare. You hate to
It's
compare the pay-per-view match to a regular Dynamite match we just got, which was miles and miles better.
That's exactly. And it's just like everybody else is so good right now to where even average isn't good enough. Mm-hmm. Even good isn't good enough. And like, I know people be like, AEW fans are never happy. Don't get me wrong. AEW fans, I think, are very happy right now. But like I've said, like, because we know you can do great consistently, why would we ever ask for less? Somebody said it's okay, Lyric. Just imagine when Mercedes Moné shows up. Here's the thing, like, Mercedes is amazing. She's a game changer. She is a trailblazer, but she is still only one person. People said the same thing about her in WWE, of just like, Ronda's here. She's not that good of a wrestler, but you know, Mercedes would carry her to, you know, a great match, and they're in the main event and stuff like that. Like, no,
not doing that.
Mercedes needs dance partners who can dance. She needs girls who can dance. She needs to dance. There's a reason why her first match. It's the reason why her first match is Serena Deeb. Because that's also a thing too. Serena Deeb wrestles with technical style, but she's not boring. So yeah, I mean, you know, I will say, how do I say it? Women, she's a better brawler. She's a better brawler. So she's a good, like, even though she has a very much so like a Danielson hybrid moveset, right? Like, I feel like, you know how Danielson is an excellent technical wrestler, but especially in his AEW run, he's also an efficient brawler, which makes his style even more interesting when you add those elements of like wildness and chaos. And I feel like Serena Deeb is very similar. Deanna's style is just more so straight technical.
Agreed.
Yes. Yeah.
I've always liked Serena more, but yeah, I think that she also sometimes runs into that issue of needing a dance partner to do that style with her,
Yes.
because
I
a
agree.
lot of girls can't,
But guess what? One is in the world title picture, another wasn't. And I'm gonna be honest, and I'm not just saying on the world, because Serena will probably be back in the world title picture, but it's just like, girl, respectfully, y'all were the only women's match, which is already, that's questionable, and it shouldn't have been like that. And I believe that the All-Star Scramble should have been switched with the Willow Stat versus Sky Julia match, and I feel like that could have been on the main card, and the Scramble could have been on the pre-show. But either way, you were the only women's match on the biggest card maybe of all time, of Sting's last match, in a sold out arena. And I'm gonna be honest, a lot of the people did not move. I noticed more people get up out of their seats and like go to the bathroom and stuff during some of the men's matches than I did the women's. Like, they're invested in you. They want you to be good. Like, like they're actually sticking around. Like, they want you to be good. And the thing is, Tony, you are the only woman who has wrestled on both Forbidden Doors. On both Forbidden Doors. Like, we know you can hoop. We know you can hoop. This is posturing. And honestly, if Tony didn't still have the belt right now, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation. But
yeah, but
it's just like Tony and Julia both not cutting the mustard in the ring.
Yeah.
And I'm
Big Rio, go ahead and clock in for me.
Like, I'm for this division, and I'm gonna be honest, like, I think I get so passionate because like people who have been supporting AEW for the longest, especially this women's division for the longest, and kept saying it was gonna get better, for like the last 2 years. This is the first time where I truly feel vindicated for believing in this division. And I'm like, I always knew what they were capable of. I always knew they could do it. It's just like, nobody's gonna ruin this. We done finally recruited. They laughed at me. They called me a madman. I said that. I believe that. And I called this a long time. I said, I believe that Mercedes can create a whole new generation and a whole new legacy of what women's wrestling could look like. She could be a part of reforming and being a part of the fastest growing women's division of all time and be their cornerstone. And I just know she could do it. They laughed at me. They called me all sorts they called me slurs. They said, shut up, she's coming home. And then suddenly, big business. And life is good. And we beefed up the roster. We getting the girlies from Stardom. They said, no more people from QT's trainees. Stardom. If you ain't trained to Stardom, do not come. They said, if you have not
ready made.
They said, if you have not,
I want them ready made.
They said they're not playing no games no more. They said, if you did not come with at least one tour to Stardom under your belt already, do not come. Do not come.
Yeah, need not apply.
Nobody else from the Nightmare Factory. No one else. Enough. They said only real certified hoopers only. We got to see your papers first. I don't know. It's just like, and I think like, Tony got an excuse. No, actually Julie got an excuse because, like she did, like, she's only been wrestling, but like Tony, you came from Stardom too. Girl. I don't know,
buddy.
We stuck on the women's division a lot.
I just don't know, Tony.
But it was, like I said, this is one of those things where I don't know, is this a Tony Khan problem or is this a Tony Storm problem? Like, Because that build had
I put responsibility on both.
Yes,
Because
for not taking the title
I
off
think
of her. And honestly,
for not taking the title off her.
I think honestly, and I would say partially for putting the title on her, because I don't think that Tony's gimmick really
warranted a title, needed a title.
And honestly, I feel like it's more unhinged without it. Like, imagine if Hangman was champion right now. It wouldn't be as fun that he's delusional. You know? You got to be insane. I got to believe you really insane. It's only but so insane you can be if you got what you want. You know, like, you need something to be obsessed over. What are you obsessed over, Tony? You know, like, you have everything you want. I'm feeling with the Holy Spirit. I don't know what's coming out of me. I had a lot of feelings I had to get off today.
This is our platform. Do whatever the hell you want.
It's so funny.
Talk your shit, girl.
You have the most viewers right now that we've ever had.
Deadass. Hey.
It's 590.
If one of you is Konosuke Takeshita,
yes.
Look, we're gonna get to the main event and all that shit. Give me my 2 seconds. Y'all gave Lyric her 2 seconds to talk about Shayna Wayne. This one's for me.
Crazy.
Konosuke Takeshita. I can write sonnets about you the way that Shakespeare never could. Okay. You the visions that I have for you and I quite clearly supersede any romantic tale that's been told before. All right? You and I have the vision to truly build something that has never been built, to really set a new foundation and redefine love. Okay? I'm just throwing it out there. I don't want to make it weird. I don't want you to feel pressured. Nothing like that. This isn't one of those propositions. I'm just saying, I noticed that you weren't on the card tonight, and if you want somebody to talk to about that, I'm here.
Real. So real. We love Konosuke Takeshita here.
We sure do. Okay.
But yes, I digress. You know, everybody just gotta tighten up. And this tough love.
Lock in for a tweak out.
Lock in for a tweak out for sure. Like, it's just, hello. Y'all are not finna embarrass me. Because this is how I feel. Like, you know, how do I say this? As a Southern girl, an SEC football girl, I feel sometimes you feel team pride, right? Occasionally. Mm. You know, like, well, you know, like when you're at a football game, you live up, like, you know, trying to get louder than the visiting crowd, you know, like you're at your peak head ass, especially in the SEC. You know, you went to Mizzou.
Who said War Eagle? Sorry. Roll
exactly.
Tide. Sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. But how dare you? Go ahead. Sorry.
And so, yeah, like, you know, you went to Mizzou. I went to USC. Go Cox. Like, you understand what I'm saying. So next week, we got company coming over. You know, we got company coming over. We got a lot of people.
It's like
over.
It's like hosting college game day. That's
what
it is.
Exactly. Yes. And
like,
don't get me wrong.
Everybody's looking at us.
Like, you know, and don't get me wrong, you have your friends that visit from the other schools and stuff, and it's really not no beef or anything. However, it's a slight competitive, you know, just a competitive spirit, healthy competitive spirit. And it's just like, no, not we have guests next week. AEW has guests next week. AEW. You know, like
we have we like we on a team.
Yeah, we're not on the team, bro. We're just chilling, bro. But it's like AEW has a lot of visitors next week. There's gonna be a lot of people who don't typically watch, who gonna be watching. And I'm not saying like, act different because company's around, but it doesn't hurt to put your best foot forward. And so what I mean by that is, if you know that for the first time, all eyes of the wrestling industry will be on the women's division, tighten up.
I'll say this. I'm glad that it's going to be Rio and Willow because.
Yes. I mean, like, I'm sure it would have been better to, like, in some ways it would have been better to, have the champions on the show, but not wrestling. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
not right now.
I need to see some shit that wow the girlies. I need some shit. I want y'all to clip it. I want it to go viral. I want you to be like, oh my God, we're not getting this. I need Willow tomorrow is going to hit a pounce. I mean, not tomorrow, but next week. She's going to hit a pounce that changes her life. I truly believe that. When people see her pounce Rio, they have never seen her hit that move before. It's going to change her life. She's going to hit a pounce that change her life next week. Rio is about to get so many fan pages started about her and be like, oh my God, she's so cute. Oh my gosh, I'm a Rio stan. She's going to become so many people's new profile pictures. The Rios. Let's just be real. Like, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I hope Rio takes out Stokely with a lead pipe. Let's make some history.
Exactly. So that's it. That's what I was trying to say about the women's division. Like, we got visitors next week. Everybody tighten up. Next week is rivalry week. And we're hosting
game day.
We're literally hosting college game day on ESPN. Come on, guys. Please. I don't know. It's just... Yeah. So I digress. Next, we had Lyric and Dani do a pre-show for Big Business. We never
I'll
thought
probably
of
be
that.
drunk. Oh. Sorry.
You want to take shots? You want to do it next week?
Yeah, why not? Yeah. Private party style.
Maybe we will. Well, we'll think about it. We're not going to commit, but maybe we will. That's all I got. Maybe. But maybe we'll commit. However, next we had Darby promo. I will say, Darby coming out alone was when it finally hit that Sting's not coming back. Like, Darby coming out.
I think there will always be a part of me that is going to, like, when he's in trouble, that's going to be like, well, where's Sting? Yeah.
It's Sting!
It's not.
Oh my God, y'all!
And it won't ever be again.
Yeah, he came out with the bat and he had the tag belt. Man, with Darby, first of all, I will say, Darby, I feel like truly through the Sting stuff, I really have gained a new appreciation for you. Because I feel like, honestly, when AEW first started, I assumed that Darby was going to be who Sammy ended up being.
Oh.
If that makes sense. As far as, like, like the crazy spot guy of just, like,
oh, yeah.
I never thought we were going to, like, get to know him anything past that. Like, honestly, I thought, like, he's just, like, he
That's
just...
fair enough.
Yeah, like, I never...
Come out. Quick pause. Me versus Sammy Guevara, Texas Death Match. He doesn't get any weapons. Go ahead. Sorry.
Go crazy. But yeah, like, I think that I didn't have a very high ceiling for Darby. I didn't expect for him to become like this real, like, legitimate star. Like, I genuinely think, like, I didn't know that, like, when I realized, like, Darby does all this crazy shit and he's never been injured. What the hell?
He's never taken like extended time off. No, not for an injury.
He doesn't even use social media like that.
First of all, I literally tweeted this, but I mean it. Darby Allin, that promo that she cut tonight concerned me. I'm a mandated reporter, okay? I don't know if AEW has therapy included in your healthcare, but your ass coming out here talking about, yeah, and I might die on Everest. This might be it. What? That's not a normal thing to say.
Well, it is. Here's the thing, and the only reason why I say this
for that guy.
No. The reason why I said this is because like one of my best friends last week, she literally said, "Yeah, I'm gonna go hike and on the highest peak of the Caribbean." And so I was like, "Why would you do that? Like, what? Why would you do that?" And so like I guess like everything I know about hiking is from like cute teen movies, like, you know, like, I don't know, Crossroads and Britney Spears. So like I never thought about hiking as this big journey that lasts more than like 24 hours. And so she literally was gone for 4 days camping. She almost died. Like she legit almost died. Hiking is just crazy.
So I had a similar experience. I hiked in the Amazon rainforest for way too damn long.
How did I not know this about you? You're so interesting.
I have some lore. Yeah, I'm kidding. But yeah, so hey man, I get it. What I'm saying is when you come out here and you're like, yeah, so this is my big goodbye. Maybe no. Maybe no, but guys should be reading this.
Darby,
I'm worried about you. And he's too little. They might lose him going up there.
Darby legitimately recited his last will and testament on television.
I'm like, damn, Twink.
You can tell us after 11. Man, this is after dark. Dynamite Book after dark. Good God. No, not at all. Completely sober.
Yeah.
But yeah, Darby, you know what? I feel like he's the most well-adjusted. Everybody, all of the pillars were really assigned a mentor.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe it makes sense that it probably makes sense that he is the most well-adjusted by having Sting as a mentor. That was the best decision that anybody could have made. I don't know.
For him, absolutely.
Like, that literally, and the thing is, Sting was, I'm going to be honest, the old guy was just as crazy as he was.
Yeah. Yeah. And if anything, I think it might have been like...
Somebody said, not gonna lie, it would be wild for his last match to be against Jay White. Chill. I ain't gonna lie. I thought about that. I did think about that. And it's no offense to Jay White. Love Switchblade. But god damn, that's so abrupt. Like, that's just so, you know, the rest is still unwritten. Like,
damn. And you know what's funny?
Darby and Sting went out together.
I was gonna say, we do it back-to-back send-offs. That's crazy. Go ahead and bring the roster out here. All right, let's go.
That's not funny, but that's not funny.
I firmly believe next week, Darby Allin he gonna do something stupid. They probably gonna throw him off the roof or something. But you know, and people, I'll say this quickly because but people talking all week about that Darby spot, and I tweeted it and I meant it. Darby Allin would do all of this if the cameras were off.
For sure.
This man would do all of this shit for $4 and a Snickers, is what I think I said.
Also, I will say,
he just like that.
Darby also, he tried to tell y'all, I don't know, like, I know everybody retweeted like that Players Tribune article and like all the other stuff that he did.
That nigga said he was gonna die.
He flat out said that he said by his 64-year-old best friend. by his big bro. He going to war. He said, whatever it takes, we sending Sting outright. Like, oh my gosh. That is crazy. He said, and they said out of all the spots, he insisted.
I'm sure he
on
did.
that glass spot off that ladder.
I don't know. Sometimes like, sometimes you go over to like somebody else's house and like you see like a dog that's just like not normal, just like not stupid, just just running around, just like whatever, and all hyped up, and you're like, what's up with that? He just like that. He's just like,
he just do that sometimes.
He just do that. I don't know.
You know
I can't control it. You can't control it. He's off.
I also think like when it comes to Darby, of just like he wrestles like he was Sting in the sense of like listen, I'm in my 60s, I'm about to retire too, might as well do whatever, like I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Like, bro, what?
Difference is you're 30.
Like,
but hey.
Amen. Yeah. I don't know what Darby finna do, actually.
I hope what he do is seek out the BetterHelp link that I DM'd him. That's what I hope.
Yeah, so Darby then was interrupted by Jay White, comes out and it started off good, and then I felt like there was a bit of waffling that happened.
I don't remember it at all.
Okay. Well, there was a bit of waffling going on, and you know what? I've Switchblade, I forgive you. They don't understand you. Listen, you've been through a lot, and here's the thing. This is you. We're getting you out of there. You wrote your way out, okay? Like Hamilton, and
please,
we're gonna get you out of it. We're gonna get you out of that bang bang scissor gang purgatory. We're getting you out of there, and this is you writing your way out, okay? Switchblade, Jay White, you will always be famous to me. Thanks, Day. Thank you. You will always be famous. I don't care what they say about you. I have never been more in pain than having to watch you at Full Gear, having to watch you not be treated like the king that you are. And Dani, I know that you're going to say he's not all that. I know you're going to say, but he's a good man, Savannah.
You like it. I love it.
Hold on. Keep talking. I need to go get my charger.
Okay, look. Here's what I'll say. Jason, that's not his name, but Jason White is I have never felt as though he's been able to fill the shoes of the people who came before him, whether it was in Nuge, whether it's now. I think I think we pretend he's a bigger deal than he is. I've never particularly been impressed with the in-ring. He's not like an op. Like, I really don't care. I wish him the best. Obviously, hope he succeeds. But like, I don't want him near the main event scene. And everybody said I'm here talking about, oh, they're not using Jay White the right way. I'm fine with where he's at. And I don't like the Bang Bang Scissor Gang, but I'm not particularly enthused to see too many Jay White singles matches. That's my truth.
Well,
hey, and look. One thing about me, I'm 10 toes down. So it's really no hate, no tea, no shade, but that is how I feel about Jay White. That's always how I felt about Jay White. Seems like a really nice guy.
Well, first of all, it's Jamie White.
Okay, sure, Jason.
And I will say this. I do consider Switchblade to be great. I don't consider him outstanding. Like, when I think of my most outstanding wrestlers, like in that tier of like the Ospreay, the Omega, the Danielson, like the Okada. I feel like I can put somebody like Takeshita on that level when it comes to in-ring. But I don't feel that way about him on the, I don't feel that way about
Jay White. Yeah. That's I agree with that. Somebody say he's not S tier, but he's def A tier.
Exactly. Yes. I agree.
Yes. And so when everybody was sitting up here talking about, like Jay White, why isn't Jay White immediately challenging for the world title? I was like, because he's not world champion right now.
I do think though, how do I say this? Ooh, I don't want to sound like a hater. I don't want to make this sound like a MJF hater. But I do think that when he debuted against the world champion that he did, I think that people expected more for him because, like, I think that was just the caliber of champion that we had at the time. So, yes, at that point, respectfully, you could have told me that Doink the Clown was getting a world title shot at Full Gear, and I was going to root for him to win the championship. Absolutely. I'm going to be honest. I was reaching, and a lot of people were reaching those level of desperation stages with that title reign to the point to where it was like, you can put that on anybody. You can put that belt on anybody. Anybody that MJF faced in the last 3 years. I mean, not in the last 3 years, but in the last 3 months of that reign. Anybody. Like, people were just like, oh, I hope he loses the title tonight to this person. I hope he loses the title that
bitches was praying it was Wardlow.
People was praying for Wardlow. I mean, I'm talking about, I went to The Rock to pray for Kenny Omega. I did.
Oh, absolutely.
I did. When Joe, like shit, Grand Slam. When he faced Joe the first time, which the people were praying in.
I said, oh, God, I know you hear
me. Listen, hey, some of people.
Stop ignoring my calls.
Some people who were way ahead of the curve, they were saying it, shit it all in with Adam Cole. And so I just think that did not work in Jay White's favor. And now people expect like that. I hate that for Jay White. That's how he had to come into the main event scene, because I do think if it was Samoa Joe, even if he lost, it would have been so much different. But the roster is so stacked now that we don't exactly have time for do-overs. I promise we will get to you again, like when we do the rotation of the main event guys. Back. But yeah, you still got another rotation. Like it's too many guys who done waited their turn. Like, Samoa Joe, Hangman, Swerve. Too many people have waited their turn, and it's just like, trust me, Jay White, you will smell that world title picture again. And I'm sure he knows that.
You're not next up.
But yeah, I'm sure he knows that. Fans don't know that. Some fans act like they don't know that. But yeah, he's not next up. He probably won't get back into the world title picture any earlier than 2025.
And I'll say, look, I won't labor this because this is already we've talked so much this episode. But I will say, I think a lot of the Jay White discourse comes from the fact of what people thought he could be in WWE.
Yes, absolutely.
Because WWE is, I would argue, in need of a lot of new main event guys, he would have been instantly inserted in that picture and a constant rotation in that, in that circle, in that whatever.
Absolutely.
AEW is operating differently, and AEW, where it was and where it is, that's just not necessarily an issue that AEW is having right now, of needing more top tier main event guys to go in every single week. And so Absolutely. I think a lot of times when we talk about, what Jay White is doing, whether it's with the Bang Bang Scissor Gang, whether it's taking a loss, or it's this, that, and a third, it's in comparison to what people think he could have been in World Wrestling Entertainment.
And I think also this, you have to remind yourself of this. Even if he did go to WWE, you would still be in the same position, because guess what? WWE, you know how many people are waiting on world title runs? People who have been in the company for years. Cody won the Royal Rumble twice and is still waiting twice, not once, twice. It is waiting. It's still waiting. Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins never even got a shot. He's the only person that actually beat Roman. He never even got a shot for the main belt. So they made him a consolation belt and then let everybody shit on him for it. And then he still got people promised the belt. They were about to make him give it to CM Punk. And then Punk got injured. And then now they're giving it to Drew McIntyre. Let's be for real. Nobody jumping top. Listen, Cody Rhodes actually was in WWE before and then went to AEW. And they still made him wait 2 years to they're making him wait 2 years to get the world title.
You know what it feels like?
Y'all think what's gonna happen to you?
You know what it's kind of like? It's like if you go to like, how can I explain this? It's like if you think that you're going to go to BYU, okay? If you think that you're going to go to like a Mormon school and you want to meet the love of your life and you're thinking ring by spring, and then last minute you're like, you know what? I want to go to SEC school, send my ass down to Florida, okay? And then you get to Florida and everybody talking about what's your Snapchat, like, oh, do you want to link tonight? They're not on the marriage shit, okay? You thought you was walking into something that was going to be instant. You thought you was going to get the belt. It was going to be instant. You were going straight to the top. No, you got to be in the trenches for a little bit over here. Okay, at the end of the day, I do think you're going to enjoy it more. I really do. But you're going to have to wait a little bit. And
there is a guarantee.
And the right person.
And there is a guarantee that you will get your moment. Now, it's going to be a while, but you actually will get it. Ain't no telling what they're going to do.
The school is bigger. The school is bigger. There's more options, okay? You're going to find the right one at the right time, okay? So Jay White, don't expect a BYU experience at an SEC school.
Exactly. Like, it's some certain places that they need you because you're such a good talker. Like, they need you. They would need somebody like you because you're such a good talker. But in places, not even places, in AEW, because everybody else, I'm going to be honest, just not. To be a top guy, at the minimum, you got to talk and wrestle. Like, there's no, you can have one or the other here. Like, in some places, you can be a great wrestler. In some places, you can be a great talker, but you don't have to be the other. Here, you got to be both and excellent at both. And honestly, somebody said, I think his fans are more worried than he is. Absolutely. Jay White, like, that's also the things when wrestlers are comfortable in other ways of just like, guess what? They might not all be at the world title right now, but guess what? They work in a much less crazy schedule than they were. They're able to be home more. It's like, it's certain trade-offs that you get. Guess what? Cody is on the road 300 out of 365 days a year and still ain't got the world title and is doing all the media appearances and all of the community events and the house shows and the TV.
And in his free time, he solves racism. He's a busy guy. MLK wishes.
That's a great place to move on. We had a House of Black promo. I'm gonna be honest, I can't tell you what they said. I think they were they were talking shit about Mark Briscoe, and then we got a Mark Briscoe promo, which was great because he's great and he's awesome and he's amazing. And Mark Briscoe said, "You can't kill me. You can't kill me. I'm a bad bitch. You can't kill me." Okay, and then suddenly Jay Lethal comes out of nowhere. And it was like, "Hey, brother, I want to team up with you this weekend." And when Mark Briscoe said, "Hey, you better not bring that Jeff Jarrett up in here," I said, oh my God. Now, as a true Jaredaholic,
I forgot all of this happened.
A real Bree wooer, I did take slight offense to that. But I'll let it slide because the delivery was impeccable. So I think that we're setting that up. House of Black, the Kings of the Black Throne versus Mark Briscoe and Jay Lethal. So I believe that that's happening.
Yeah, I wish I cared.
Somebody said I need Jeff Jarrett to pin Malachi Black on Saturday like I need air. Oh,
please,
okay.
clean. Yeah, because I gotta be honest, I love Mark Briscoe. I wish I cared about this even a little bit. I don't.
I think that Mark Briscoe, I will say, I feel like his momentum should have been through the roof after the Continental Classic because he had such a similar. But I feel like he had like a very similar story to like Daniel Garcia, right? And I felt like maybe AEW felt like they could, because essentially they had the same story coming out. So like only one of them can really go after the title for one time because, you know, Adam Copeland was already in the picture. And so I felt like they kind of chose DG over Mark Briscoe for that push, which I felt was the right move because, I mean, you have DG, this is a contract year for him. And like, he would be a great addition to any roster. And so you want to show him that you see him as the future of this company.
He's very pretty.
Yeah. And then Mark Briscoe is locked into a long-term deal already. And also, like, you know, he's not going anywhere. And like, he's just, you know, you can really stick him in anywhere and he's going to deliver. So I understand. So I feel like that's what's happened to here. I feel like that's what's happening here. And so somebody said it's because Christian Cage can't make fun of Mark Briscoe's dead dad because his dad is still alive.
Good point.
Yeah, and if Christians say that thing, I think that's when everybody be like, oh, cut the cameras down.
We're done. Wrap it up.
It's still too fresh, brother. You got like a 5-year rule before you can really start getting that crazy. You know, it took them a while to be able to say, like, you know, Eddie Guerrero jokes on TV. So, you know, like, so yeah, no. Not right now. That's bad. But after that, we had the main event. I can't believe we've been talking for an hour and 40 minutes. Thanks everybody for hanging out. This is the most viewers we've ever had. This is kind of crazy.
Oh my God, guys.
Yeah, this is actually really cool. Send us some slam chats though. Thank you.
Yeah.
If you actually love us and give us your monies. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I digress. We had the main event, which was Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher. As a United Empire girly, I will say, one, it's nice to know that the United Empire at AEW will be fine because I'm really kind of terrified for what's about to happen in New Japan. No, because if Matt Riddle, joins that faction, I cannot be responsible.
Whatever the hell they got going on over there.
Yeah. So I digress, but also Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher have both undergone I feel like, major body transformations over the last 3 years and also major skill transformations of just like being elevated to being better wrestlers. They've never faced each other like this. Like they were both skinny as hell, cruiserweights.
Yeah.
Like when essentially
they're different people now.
Now?
Yeah.
These are some big motherfuckers.
And here, let me say this. 2 things. First, one, I want to address the elephant in the room, which probably nobody knows is an elephant except for me. That my new running bit is that whenever anybody has visa issues, I'm just going to tell everybody they got a BBL. So if you're off TV for a few weeks, not due to injury, but like due to a visa issue, I'm going to start being like, you know. So Kyle Fletcher was the test subject, and it's for me. It's because it makes me laugh. I don't care what anybody else says. So Kyle Fletcher, welcome back. But aside from that, I loved this match because Kyle Fletcher has always reminded me so much of Takeshita. And so this match felt like don't click that. Don't click that. If someone's in here for Dani, of course, I am the people's princess. I'm kidding. But yeah, this match to me kind of felt like a follow-up to the Takeshita match because to me they're so similar in size and style and quickness that I was like, oh, there's no way that this doesn't hit. In my head, when I fantasy book Takeshita and things, if I can't get Takeshita there, I want Kyle Fletcher there.
Exactly. Yes, interchangeable. And that is why I said that I would like, it's so funny because like I feel like the similarities between like Kyle, Takeshita, Omega, Ospreay, like they are all so similar in the sense of like they all started out they started out as these cruiserweights and now they're all like freaking huge. And now it's also that I feel like they really are the best wrestlers in the world, like the best pure wrestlers in the world right now. Like as far as people who are, they're all on that tier. And it's crazy for Kyle, and I think Takeshita to already be there. Actually, it's really crazy for Will Ospreay to be there too. Like I keep forgetting he's at only 30. Like Kyle, and I think it's also like Kyle changed like overnight. This time last year, he looked completely different.
My sister. You've been cooking. My sister, every time she sees Takeshita on the screen, she's like, he too big. And tonight she saw Kyle Fletcher. She said, who's that? Because he's too big.
And it's like, I think the cool thing is like, it's not like bodybuilder Brian Cage big. It's like, oh, you've been just eating.
Thick,
like
big.
Like you've been eating. Like you eat 10 meals a day, don't you? It's the type of big that back in the day they used to say, "Ooh, I know you don't keep groceries in your fridge." And it's like, oh my gosh, y'all can really kill each other in there. Like y'all can really.
You're at a house at home. Yeah, and look, those chops tonight, really from both of them, but the ones from Ospreay. I was sitting up there, I was like, I heard me. And look, the pace that this match was able to move with, like I said, it just honestly, it reminded me so much of the Takeshita match, which is part of the reason that I loved it so much, because it felt like another one of those moments where I was like, free TV, and Kyle Fletcher has all the potential in the world. I'm so excited to see, what we do with him, and hopefully it's something. Because he in this Don Callis universe, but it's matches like this that remind y'all he's a real wrestler, bro. Like he's an all-star.
It's like, I don't know, and maybe it's because, and I think like the Ring of Honor, New Japan, AEW verse is very closely together linked. It feels like anytime like people, it's a certain tier. I would say Omega, Ibushi, like Ospreay, like Takeshita. Like if you were in like, it's just like this era of athletes to where any combination of them is so fucking good.
Yep.
Like whether it's Omega Ibushi, Omega Ospreay, Omega Takeshita, Ospreay, Ibushi, like it's just like these combinations are insane, and it's just like all these people just have this insane chemistry, and it makes you think that, okay, like the great type of rivalries and that standard that, Kenny like set, and a lot of it was away from television, like, away from television before AEW started. We're going to see like an entire generation of wrestling fans be influenced because they saw that quality level of wrestling on national television every single week. Like, New Japan, Dominion, Osaka Joe Hall, qualified Korakuen Hall type matches in the main event of some of the biggest arenas around the world on national television in front of thousands and thousands of fans, that can be the new standard. Oh my God. What the fuck?
And
they're under 30?
Yeah.
Like AEW, it's just like, you listen, AEW and these next, you know, they may not win the battle. But I truly believe that with them investing in their young core the way now, long-term success, they have more longevity than just about any wrestling promotion. Any pro wrestling promotion. Because it's one thing to create the new talent and say, like, you got a factory, you got a warehouse. But if you never actually go and push them, what's the point?
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, this match, I'm so excited to go and rewatch it because
same.
The last 7 minutes, I bet on every near fall. And I was sitting up there, I was like, I know Kyle Fletcher's not gonna beat Will Ospreay. Why am I letting myself get, you know? But I did. I sure enough did. And I loved the spot where Ospreay went for the hidden blade and Kyle Fletcher coming from behind, he said, nope, I know exactly what you finna do. Because it's just back on that thing. Like they're real life, like homies. They real life locked in. Yeah, I thought it was great. I thought they had fantastic chemistry. I would love to see this again. I would love to see them do a longer match, honestly. But then again, I think I'm gonna find myself saying that about Ospreay a lot. I'm just like, put him out there again.
And it was still a fairly, long. It was still a fairly long match for a TV.
I know, but I was
still wanting more. I think it's because like Will Ospreay was already a dangerous man when we knew he could go 30 minutes every night and steal the show. But if he's managed to compress that same style and that same energy in a TV ready time slot, oh baby, it's over for everybody. It's over for everybody. And I will say, now that's something that I'm actually very interested to see with Okada. I'm very interested to see with Okada just because Okada, like, sometimes whenever I don't think that he's fully adjusted to the American style at times. I think he can have a great match with anybody.
He loves to build a match.
Yes, he loves to build a match. And to be honest, like most Okada matches are going 20 minutes minimum. Yeah. And so I'm interested to see how that he adjusts because he's not used to doing underneath that.
But if there's anybody that can help with that,
absolutely,
other members of the elite.
And people said the same thing about the elite, and they proved that they could master,
which was true at the time.
Which
they got there,
and it was true. And and they eventually mastered the style. So I think that Okada definitely will. I think that Kyle Fletcher is just absolutely incredible, and it felt like Ospreay was wrestling his mirror. It felt like he was wrestling himself in the mirror. And it felt like when we saw Omega and Ospreay wrestle, and it felt like Kenny was wrestling his mirror. It's a difference. And I think that's the difference between the Ospreay Omega series and the Omega Okada series. I felt like Omega and Okada are two very different wrestlers, but I think that like Ospreay and Omega's similarities are what made their rivalry special. I don't know.
I don't disagree with you, but I think I have to think on it.
Yeah.
Because I disagree with you initially, but then I was like, let it sit. We'll circle back eventually.
We'll circle back. You know what? I think that we should do it. We should just talk about Kenny Omega matches one day.
Absolutely.
I think we should just do that. I think we should rank his best opponents. All right, let's do some shit like that. We should just totally do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Sorry. I'm always down to talk about Kenny Omega. You know what's funny? That bitch was not on the show, but it is at least the 5th time that we've been
absolutely. Kenny Omega, I want you to know we are keeping your name alive.
Always.
We are keeping you uplifted in prayer.
You got shooters out here.
You got real shooters out here. No joke. Kenneth Jerome Omega. If nobody else got you,
I don't play about you.
Yeah. Period. We don't play about you at all. And so yeah, this match was incredible. I just loved it. I feel like it's so weird. Like Fletcher reminds me so much of Ospreay, but he's also he's his own person completely and entirely.
Reminds me so much of Takeshita. I was literally sitting there that whole match and being like,
I said, like, listen, it's so much like
now that haircut.
I will say maybe Kenny Omega got a lot of sons because it really all stemmed from him, and it's just like, and I love them all. They all different in their own way, but it's just like, this is my favorite wrestling family. Everything, I'm sorry, the Elite is my favorite wrestling family, and everything that sprouts out of there, like the cousins, like
who they raised.
It's just so good. I mean, Takeshita, Ibushi, Ospreay. Everybody's just so Fletcher, Aussie Open as a whole. Everybody's just so great.
No misses. We don't have like a weird cousin.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. It's just like
now Kyle Fletcher, the haircut.
Yeah.
I won't labor on it because we've all had hair moments. My edge is not laid, it's midnight. But here's what I'll say. I know a guy that can get you right. We don't have to live like this.
I also think that, you get one pay-per-view cycle to rectify your issues.
That's fair. I will allow that.
You get one pay-per-view cycle. So by Dynasty, if something hasn't changed, we're going to have to regroup.
Absolutely.
Fine.
A
fine. So yeah. So we're very generous. Yes. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And this match was incredible. I'm going to rewatch it afterwards. And then Ospreay wins this match. And he helps Kyle Fletcher up. As if, like, here's the thing. I just want to say this first. I was perfectly fine with Dynamite ending right after that match and being done. I would have been so fulfilled. I just would like to say that. I would have been so fulfilled. It would have been fine. It would have been awesome. And I would have gone on about my day. But then Bryan Danielson's music hits. And we end Dynamite on a cliffhanger of two of the best wrestlers in the world coming face to face. Let me tell you something. I would like to say this, and I said, and I think it became clear at Forbidden Door. There is a clear group of elite wrestlers in the world that everybody has agreed are the elite wrestlers of the world. Now, a lot of you can argue who should be on there.
But the ones that are in there are not up for debate.
Exactly. And there are 4 men who are non-debatable and on just about everybody's list who is worth a damn. Kenny Omega, Kazuchika Okada, Will Ospreay, and Bryan Danielson. Now, ever since Forbidden Door last year, every combination of these men have now faced each other, except for one. We've seen Omega Okada several times.
Oh my God.
We've seen Omega Danielson. We've seen Omega Ospreay. We've seen Bryan Okada. We've seen Bryan Omega. We've seen Okada Ospreay.
Yep.
Okada Omega and Okada Danielson. But the only combination we have not seen yet is the Billy Goat versus the American Dragon.
This is going to absolutely fucking bang. The noise I let out when I heard that music, I said, no way. Because here's the thing, right? Ospreay works here now. So I got really worried that, you know, since Ospreay works at AEW, that we're going to take our time getting to the dream matches and take our time. And I don't want that. Nobody wants that. You never know what can happen, whether it be injuries, whether it be this, that, and the third. Give it to me today. So right, the fact that we're already acknowledging that these two exist here, and, you know, I don't care when the match is. This meant the world to me. And I was like you. I was like, oh my God, that match was so great. Let's all go home. Oh my God, Bryan Danielson is here. No fucking way. Like, no way we're going straight to the top, baby. It's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. And, you know, we over here at Black Girl Wrestling, Meltzer's got his stars or whatever. We started measuring things in like hot combs, because we're Black, so or Madam CJ Walker hair products. So
that's so real.
It's gonna be 100 badillion. I'm overwhelmed. I need to sit with this.
I would just like to say, Tony Khan, in 1 year, you mean to tell me you will have been able to facilitate? Wait, not even just 1 year. Well, you know what? Let's stretch it. Let's say 3. In 3 years, you've managed to facilitate Brian Okada, Ospreay Omega.
Who am I calling?
Brian Omega and Brian Ospreay under one banner, one promotion.
And you know what, Antonio?
And you'll probably be able to facilitate Okada Omega too. By all
means. I'm sorry I called you poor. But I think it brought out the best in you.
Absolutely.
To start spinning this coin.
I will say, people can say whatever they want about these awards and stuff. However, one thing that Tony Khan took very seriously, and he always said, is that it was really important to him to win Booker of the Year. And this year, losing to Triple H, I fear it put that dog back in him.
Sometimes
losing Booker of the Year, and I think losing CM Punk, I feel like back to back, I feel like those really made him think.
Take them. If that's the only thing that it would have taken to make this happen, I would have done it years ago.
Yeah, y'all. He said never again. He said, I will never let y'all down again. I lost Booker of the Year, and the thing is, he used to win by a wide margin too. That's why it's just like when everybody switched up or didn't vote this year, it's like, wow, that's crazy.
Wow.
But you know, all because of MJF's title reign. That's so crazy.
We have been dogging on that man today. We have been sitting up here and we've been like, oh my God, MJF, Kenny Omega. Neither one of them bitches are here.
You know what? I would like to say this though about MJF is that I really hope that he's reinvent himself, but when he comes back, like I really hope, like because the thing is, exactly, or just wrestle more. Because honestly, this year I feel like he needs to be in the Continental Classic because he needs to be in the Continental Classic, and so I feel like this year when he comes back, I really hope that he's in even as a heel, like you got to be in prove yourself mode because you got to be watching from home. You see what's coming out every week. You see what's coming out every week. Even if you felt like your title reign wasn't bad, you know it wasn't excellent.
Right.
And right now, if it ain't excellent, Samoa Joe is excellent, and he don't gotta talk. He don't
Swerve in your locker room, bruh.
Swerves in your locker room. Big Kazoo in your locker room. Billy Goat in your locker room. Kyle O'Reilly is a singles wrestler. Oh my God. Like, please. I'm going to be honest. Let's just be real. Let's be real. Let's keep it 100. It's been a lot of people who was waiting for a long time for Kyle O'Reilly to get his moment. Even more so than Adam Cole. To be honest.
I love that man.
People underestimate how much Kyle O'Reilly is loved. Kyle O'Reilly is, in my opinion, I think he's equivalent to Shingo Takagi. I think that he's a wrestler who we know is excellent and has gotten some really great opportunities here and there. But for some reason, he's never been able to be the top guy that we all know that he can be.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what? I'll take that. I'll accept it.
If you ask your favorite wrestlers, they'll probably say he's one of their favorite wrestlers.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And so...
But that hasn't always translated in presentation. Yes.
Exactly. So imagine if Kyle O'Reilly really coming back and, like, swinging.
How is Kyle O'Reilly's relationship with his father?
Oh, yeah, we about to find out soon. We're going to find out real soon. Y'all, it's just like, God damn. I'm so glad. I ain't gonna lie.
Because I might have an idea.
I'm really glad that we got Sting out of there when we did. Because, like, Christian Cage, we was going to have to put him down if he said something crazy to Sting.
Absolutely.
We would have had to put him down. It would have just been like, okay, like, it's one thing, like, when you pick on all these little young cats, but okay, that's our elder. All right, now. Have some respect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? But yeah, I just... Kyle O'Reilly said, fuck that tag rope. Now what? And he's the
only one.
Only person who gets to do that.
The rest of you bitches.
He's the only person. I'm going to tweet that. Kyle O'Reilly is the only person who gets to say, fuck the tag rope.
Everybody else? Hit that corner for me.
Exactly. Put it in your hand.
Me. Give it to me. House of Black. Come on.
Y'all, especially, let me tell you something. I'm not this is going to sound, everybody going to have to, like, wait your turn. And the reason why I say this is because, and I love it for him, but when Big Kazus comes in saying, I want to do 6-man tags, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are?
Bro.
Kazu came in and said, let's win the trios belts. That sounds
fun.
Like, what? Which is fantastic for the roster depth, and it makes perfect sense. But
you're not him, and he's doing this.
If Big Kazu is grabbing that tag rope, he was grabbing it in New Japan too, so it's not like AEW dropping him out.
No, he's like that. So
he likes
a lot of you guys, yeah, you're not Okada. I need you to go ahead and hit that Michael Jackson, hit that man in the mirror for me. All right. Let's start with some self-reflection. The way that you perceive yourself is not the way you're perceived by others.
Listen, objects in the mirror are larger than they appear.
Oh, baby, take a step back.
Like, y'all. Kazuchika Okada has happily been not even just a tag wrestler, a 6-man wrestler for
Omega 2.
The Omega 2, and guess what? They were having a blast. So if y'all asking them to do more than that, no, not even that. If they're not asking to do more than that, but you AEW Dark Elevation superstar, why do you believe that you deserve singles matches on Dynamite every week? Why do you believe
I got some bad news about the public opinion about you, buddy.
Why do you believe you can't do jobs? Why do you? And also, here's the thing. I don't even consider losing a very competitive match that made both people look good. I don't even consider that a job. I consider that's just a match result. Jobs is when you're getting squashed. Oh my gosh, Mariah May versus Trisha Adora announced for Saturday. Oh my gosh, I will see that.
That's so slay. Lyric,
you know what I will say?
for 2 hours.
I know we need to get off. But before we do, I just wanted to say that Mariah May and Trish Adora, if I'm not mistaken, I think they're the same height, which is great because I'm ready for Mariah to like show what she can do versus opponents like that are like her same height because she's been wrestling like a lot of like shorter.
I'm excited for her to hit that full throttle. I'm excited for her to, because she is a hard hitter, bruh. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I want to see her. I want to see her in matches that are beyond squashes. You know.
Yes, and Trish is really good, and I hope that they actually give this one some time. But yes, the moral of all this, thank you for sitting for this extra long. This is 681 viewers. Wow, that's crazy.
That's insane. Guys,
we usually only have, I'm not gonna say that number right here because it's kind of embarrassing, but I'll tell you after. It's just like this, it's kind of like mind blowing right now.
Hey.
But I appreciate everybody for coming. I hope you come back. But yes, the moral of the story is grab that tag rope for me. Yeah.
The moral of the story, grab that tag rope.
Unless you're Kyle O'Reilly.
And Kyle O'Reilly, you can do whatever you like, sweetheart. Welcome.
You can do whatever you like, okay? You can leave your stuff anywhere. Thank you.
The world is your oyster.
Last but certainly not least, big business is next week. I don't know what we're going to do. We should probably do something special. I don't know yet. We'll talk about it. We're not going to commit, but we'll talk about it. About what are we going to do for big business? Like, kind of feel like a big business pre-show was slightly a great idea. I do think it was a good idea to an extent, but we'll see how schedules pan out. I'm not going to promise anything.
And OMG, Jalen, that's so nice. Thanks for yapping with us.
Oh, thank you for yapping.
Couple of yappers.
Yep.
But whatever. But men talk too much anyway, so at least we're not men.
That's real. That's a great place to stop. You can find me at Lyric Wrestling on the Twitters and the Instagram. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Lyric Swinton. I uploaded my, what is it? Revolution Media Scrum reel up on my YouTube today. If anybody wants to see, I got to asking a question, which was really cool. And
Lyric.
What else? Oh yeah, and I found out super late that I had credentials. I don't think, did I even know? No, I didn't even know when I did the show last week. So I did. Yeah.
No, you didn't. And then you, yeah. Because you're like, oh, I have a Revolution ticket I'm selling. I said, oh, do you now?
Yeah. So yeah, I did end up doing the scrum, which was entertaining. But yes, you can find all my stuff here. And yeah. Where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Dani Don't Miss, but you should follow Black Girl Wrestling on Twitter and on Instagram. It's literally Women's History Month. But our whole point of Black Girl Wrestling is just to make a more inclusive space where weirdos and losers feel uncomfortable rather than the rest of us. So everybody's welcome. Go ahead and join the cult at Black Girl Wrestling. And if you hate Chris Jericho, even better. That's all, folks.
That's literally all we got, folks. Oh my gosh, how did my hair end up in there? But anyway,
5 shots is a lot. I'm a lightweight, but
it's oh my gosh, it's 12:35. We're delirious.
That's insane. Okay, yeah,
it's okay. Thanks, everybody. Good night. We will talk to you next week for AEW Big Business. Bye.